Cosmic beings, welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. My name is Devon, and I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Alrighty, let's get into this message. Okay. So the first thing I noticed is right when I tapped in, I'll like tap in and set the space before I record. And I got like tired. So that could be relevant for how you're feeling. Maybe you're just kind of tired. Um, and then I heard something about an energy return. So if you've been really tired lately, expect your energy to start returning naturally. Especially as you continue to pay attention to the guidance and give your body what's necessary and all of that, your energy system as a whole, really. Okay. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support on the channel. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations all really do help out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go on to the collective. Thought we were doing this stuff. Okay, we'll shuffle through one more time, then we might be getting a different deck. Well, these cards aren't talking. No, no. Interesting. Okay, never had this happen in a reading. All right, give me just a second. Okay, so very interesting. I got part of the message that wants to come through, and it happened in a really weird way. So the first deck that I was guided to grab of cards weren't weren't coming out at all. And normally if I go through it 3 times and nothing comes out, that normally means I'm being guided to use a different deck. But I've never had that happen when I grab a deck and then nothing comes out. So, like, sometimes that'll happen when I'm in the middle of a reading and then I'll shuffle through and nothing comes out. And then I'm like, okay, switch decks. But this one was like, I was guided to a deck that actually isn't for this reading. And then when I paused it to see like what was going on, I got really, really hot and like nauseous and just like it just hit like a wave. And so I literally had to go like sit in front of a fan and cool down and kind of like ask like what is this about? So it was just so random. And and I'm in, the collective energy, so I knew it had something to do with the collective. So I asked. Basically what came through was something about nervous system resetting. So this could be something that maybe you're being guided to, maybe you're focusing on. What the message that I got was is this collective is on the brink of doing something that is really stretching. It's really pushing the ego. It's really like you're on the brink of making a life-changing decision. And it's like once you get to the line and you're getting ready to make that decision, all of a sudden your body freaks out. And so, if that is happening, what that can indicate is your nervous system reacting. And a lot of us don't have like calm, peaceful nervous systems, especially if you've been in survival mode for a long time or experiencing like unhealthy, toxic relationships, things like that. It can even be a job. It's just in that constant state of fight or flight, and then the nervous system doesn't calm down. And so, maybe you're being guided to kind of look into that. There's lots of different techniques and things that you can do to kind of calm it down. Sometimes it's just pushing through. And so, if you know you're being called to do something for your highest good, but your ego's freaking out, and then your nervous system is kind of like, danger, danger. Um, but your higher self, your guidance, the divine is telling you to do this thing, but then your body's kind of freaking out and your ego's kind of freaking out. That could be what's going on is your nervous system activates and then is sensing it as danger when it's just you being in a constant state of fight or flight and then learning to calm it down. Okay. And then we've got the observer that just came out. So in the sun. So there is a new beginning here. And it is something that you've been observing for a while. It's something that you've been contemplating for a while. It's something that you've been really on the brink of doing for a while is what I'm getting. But this is in alignment. And so I feel like that's why it was coming up for kind of like calming the nervous system. Okay, and whatever you're on the brink of doing, this new beginning, it is going to be successful. It is going to be you're going to have success with it. You're going to be victorious with it. And then appreciation. Okay. So this is having an attitude of gratitude. Really appreciating something deeply. Okay. What is it? Oh, okay. So this is a wild, wild message. I had to pause it again because I got it was like a wave of just it was like I got super hot and again I got like really nauseous and it just normally doesn't happen to that point in a reading where I literally have to pause it and go like sit in front of a fan or lay down for a minute. So what's funny about that too is the cards that are coming out are beautiful energy. So to feel like that doesn't make sense, but it does because I understand what's happening now. Okay. So drop you some valuable information here. The resetting of the nervous system and pulling out of survival mode, that is one of the biggest threats to the system. Okay, the control matrix, whatever you want to view it as. Got to tread lightly here just because of this platform. But there is, okay, so when you are ascending and you are shifting your experience, and you're shifting from 3D to 5D and really allowing yourself to go through this beautiful ascension process that, is also very difficult. Nervous system resetting is actually something that isn't as talked about. It can oftentimes be overlooked. But here's the thing, if you are consciously aware of everything, but your body is still in fight or flight constantly, it's not going to allow you to fully ascend. It's going to continue to hold you in these lower vibrations. And so retraining your nervous system is a huge, huge part of this. Because once your nervous system is calm and reset, then that's when you start to really experience thriving versus surviving, just in life in general. The other thing as well is there are energetic attacks. It just is what it is. It's good to be aware of so that you can start really clocking it and then you can protect yourself. It's nothing to be fearful of. It's nothing to get like angry about. It's just, like, oh, okay, yeah, of course that would be happening because this is not what is, in alignment with, the shadow agenda or whatever we want to term it. Basically keeping, people in the planet at a lower frequency. So, when you are ascending, you will get hit with stuff that is trying to keep you in that lower vibration. And so, it's nothing, again, don't get into victim mentality about it. It's just something to be aware of. And these types of things can happen. You can all of a sudden have, you're on the brink of doing something major. And that's really what's coming through here is you're on the brink of really shifting your entire experience in a very positive, beautiful, magnificent way in alignment with the divine. This is huge. This is big. And so, because of how big it is, it's understanding that that's how big some of these attacks are going to be. And it's just you were built for this. You came here for this. You got this. And so it's just, if you can kind of have fun with it and be like, all right, I see it. I do not allow it and moving right along. I'm going to do my thing anyways. That's kind of that trust and surrender in the divine and then also claiming your own sovereignty. And so I feel like you could be really experiencing that because you're on the brink of making a life-changing decision. Okay, carrying connections. Okay, for some of you, there is a counterpart thread of energy coming through. So if you are on the brink of like breaking no contact or locking in some sort of union with a very high level soulmate or a counterpart. It's the same kind of thing that is problematic when it comes to keeping you in a lower vibration. So just know that if you're experiencing these kinds of things and you're like on the brink of doing something completely life changing that you know is in alignment with what your soul is asking you to do, just understand that there are forces that be that don't want you to do that. And so sometimes this can come through in like weird ways. It could be somebody, it could be a family member that all of a sudden you have a really weird experience with, and there's like discomfort and an argument and all of this stuff, and it like comes up out of nowhere, and it's right when you're on the brink of doing something that's literally going to change your life. Sometimes that's how this shit works. And it's just good to be aware of it so that you can kind of notice it, process it how you need to process it, handle it how you need to handle it, and then do the thing anyway. Because, it's in alignment. Okay, yeah, we've got all tied up here. So there could be stuff that you're still letting go of. Um, you could feel like you're kind of trapped in a situation. I'm getting something with finances that's really coming through here. Um, but just know, like, you are getting a lot of extra assistance right now in shifting into this, like, new reality. Yeah, rest and rejuvenation. So make sure you're listening to your body. Make sure you're listening to your energetic system as a whole. Your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your spiritual body. Um, yeah, really, really focus on that rejuvenation energy, that rest energy. For some of you, what I'm getting is you feel trapped in a situation. It's making it hard to rest and rejuvenate. Um, so with that, maybe looking at something like nervous system resetting could really help you, because that's kind of a hack where you internally change your set point, and then all of a sudden your external reality reflects that back. So if the thing, like, let's say you want more peace or more calm, especially if we're talking about nervous system resetting, so you want to experience peace. Well, if internally, if your body always feels chaotic because you're always in fight or flight and your nervous system's always activated, then you're internally not feeling peace. And so it's really hard for your external reality to reflect peace when internally your body is in fight or flight all the time. And so once you retrain your nervous system and tell it like it's safe and all is well, and then you literally calm down your nervous system. I'm doing a lot of tapping. That's one way you can do it. You can do butterfly tapping, where you do this, it stimulates the vagus nerve. um but there's tons of different techniques and stuff out there. Once you reset your nervous system and have more of a baseline of peace, when stressful things happen, your nervous system's still going to activate because that's normal. And then you catch it and you go, okay, we're calm, all is well. And you come back down to that set point of peace, then your external reality will start reflecting back more peaceful experiences, more peaceful events, a more peaceful, financial state, more peaceful connections. Um, so it's kind of, it's that part of that inside out process. And it's hard work, in the sense that it's just like, it's kind of constant at first because a lot of us are trained to be in fight or flight all the time, and then so we don't even really realize it. And then it's once you kind of start paying attention and calm your nervous system, then all of a sudden you'll start to kind of catch it. um but it can take a while. So just be patient with yourself and just remember, you're reprogramming yourself, you're retraining yourself. And so you're unlearning a lot, and you're learning different things, and you're applying different things. It's going to take some time, and that's okay. It's a process. Okay, clean it up. Okay, this is also, there could be something here with your physical, like, living environment that is causing like some chaos. So maybe it's like purging stuff, cleaning stuff up, reorganizing stuff, something like that. Um And some of you, I'm feeling like if you haven't had the energy to handle some of these things, like sometimes that happens. We just get burned out. And then, we don't dust for a long time or vacuum or whatever, like little stuff like that. Um, that can, that can kind of, that just happens sometimes. And so again, give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up about it. It is what it is. You're listening to your body now. A little extra dust isn't going to kill anybody. It's a-okay. So, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on this channel. I know there's certain words you're not allowed to say. I think that's one of them. Well, here we go. Um, eh, okay. Anyhow, I just got totally sidetracked. Yeah, so do your best not to beat yourself up for it. And just remember, like you're doing a lot. And this is one of those things like people on the outside don't really fully see it. And that's okay because this is an inside out process. Um there's also it's a feng shui thing that I'm being reminded of, and I don't remember exactly how many it is, but it's like if you move like 17 things in your environment, it shifts the energy. So maybe look into doing something like that where you just move like 15 or 20 things around in your environment, just like set it in new places, or maybe it's rearranging the furniture, or whatever it is. It can even just be little small things like, for me on my desk I have crystals and stuff back here, and so like sometimes I'll redo those and it'll shift the energy. So maybe look into doing something like that. It doesn't have to be something major. It's just, move some things around, and then just see how the energy changes, and that can kind of help release some stagnant energy in the environment and stuff. And that's part of this too, is you are opening up and becoming more sensitive to your environment. So things like certain things that maybe hold a stale energy are going to affect you more now. Things that are a little cluttery are going to affect you more now. And I'm laughing because I'm a creator, like a creative type. So I have like lots of creative supplies all over. So I'm like I'm like, hey, I'm talking to myself here too. But it's addressing those kinds of things that can help the internal state of being as well. Okay. So we've got, yeah, you're on the brink of a new life. And part of that does include this like romantic union energy. So if you're in a current connection that you're happy with, I feel like that's going to level up with you. If you're not in a connection, or if you're not in a connection you're happy with, part of your new life is having a romantic connection that you are happy with. There is also financial stability here as well. Um, okay. Peace. That's interesting. Because I was talking about peace earlier. So maybe this is something that you are focused on, is having a more peaceful life. And I'm here to tell you that regardless of how your life has looked up until this point, if this is something you're desiring, this is something you are absolutely capable of experiencing, is more peace. And I do feel like you're on this brink of making this huge shift. It's like you're on the brink of making a life-changing decision, and I feel like your nervous system is picking up on that, and your ego's kind of freaking out about it. And sometimes that a lot of times that will stop us from making certain decisions, because it's like, oh, this doesn't feel right. And that's where it gets really tricky too, because it's like, listen to how you're feeling, but if your body is constantly in a state of fight or flight and your nervous system is always like just on, um then it's harder to listen to the body, because the body isn't giving you accurate feedback at that point. And so it is confusing, but I would highly recommend looking into nervous system resetting. Again, there's a ton of different techniques and tips and tricks and things like that on how to do this, because once you reset your nervous system, then it's easier to tap in and really listen to your body's guidance, because It's just in a different state. When it's constantly in fight or flight, it's going to be giving you feedback that this isn't safe, this isn't safe, this isn't safe. And then your ego's picking up on that and telling you all the things, all the fear-based things. So you're in the midst, you're like on the brink of this massive, massive transformation. And so if you've been kind of confused, like, well, I know I'm meant to do this thing and I'm being called to do this thing, but every time I get ready to, it's like my body freaks out and then my mind goes a billion miles a minute. That can be kind of what's going on. Um, so just a little tidbit. So I paused it to get a drink of water. And then something else as well is there's certain situations that come up. And sometimes the best method is to just like muscle through it. And so make sure you're listening to your own guidance because that's going to vary. Um, but there's certain things like if this is a decision that you're on the brink of making and you know it is literally leading you into this new life, then you might kind of freak out. Um, Okay, so I just had a slight interruption. I can tell you this much, this message does not want to come out. Well, it does. But there's some stuff trying to interfere. So very interesting. And what I'm getting from that is I feel like this is directly something that you are experiencing. And maybe it's coming through here to explain what is going on so that you can make a the positive choice for you because you're literally on the brink of this new life. And what I was saying right before I had to hit pause is sometimes, so like, let's say you're getting ready to start a business and it's, purpose centered and it's passion driven and it's something that's going to help potentially millions of people. When you're on the brink of that, there's going to be a lot of stuff that can and most likely will come in to try and stop you from doing that. Um, and so again, it's not a sign not to do it. It's actually take it as confirmation to definitely do it. Because if it wasn't that big, you wouldn't be being hit this hard. And so if you can look at it from that perspective, then you can be like, okay, these fuckers are doing the most because I'm about to do the most. Like, kind of get into that energy. That's another way you can kind of transmute it. Make sure you're amping up on the spiritual hygiene and really protecting your energy, being very mindful of different things and places and stuff that's draining your energy and everything else. And then sometimes when you're on the brink of doing something this life changing, it's one of those just do it. And that's kind of the message that was coming through right before I had an interruption was to just kind of move through it and just to start that thing anyways. Or I'm hearing like send that message. So maybe you're on the brink of reaching out to somebody, and this could be romantic, this could be platonic. It's just going to vary. But if you're on the brink of reaching out to somebody and you have this knowing that it is going to change your life to be in communication with this person, and you're getting all of this interference when you go to do that thing, sometimes it's just saying, you know what? Fuck off. I'm going to do this anyways because I know this is what's in my highest good and you're not going to stop me. And just do it anyways. Right before I started this channel, I've experienced a lot of this. And then I've been on the precipice of a new channel that's more of like a guidance type channel. And I was dealing with a lot of it as well. And I didn't realize some of it was that. I thought some of it was divine timing. So there might be something in there for you as well, because I was like, oh, this is the divine timing isn't aligned and blah 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 blah. And for part of it that was true, but then um for the past month or so realistically it actually has been external interference, and I didn't clock it right away. So it's just one of those, be very mindful, and it is tricky It is tricky to navigate because a lot of it is it doesn't seem like that's what's going on. But if you're on the brink of doing something that you know is going to change your life in very big, positive, beautiful ways, you know it's in alignment. And every time you are on the precipice of doing it, you're on the brink of doing it, you get some sort of interference that stops you. That might not be divine timing. That might be something you're being asked to just move through. So it does get tricky on like, is this actually divine intervention or is this external influences that are trying to stop me from doing this thing? And so the thing is, if you're getting a lot of guidance and everywhere you turn, you're hearing that it is the right time, but every time you get ready to do it, something comes up. That's oftentimes external interference. So that's just from my experience of being on this journey for a while, um, kind of how it shows up and kind of how you can tell. Um, okay, financial constraints. So this could be something that's currently going on in your life that you're struggling with. This could be part of that all tied up energy. The thing is, this is not a part of your new life. And that's the other thing when we reset our nervous system, we're shifting from surviving to thriving. And so naturally your finances are going to level up as well. Um, which sounds weird, like it doesn't sound like there would be a correlation, but there's a huge correlation to that. Um, and I do feel like you're on the brink. For some of you, you're on the brink of reaching out to somebody that's going to have a profound positive effect on your entire energetic system. And that's going to be what helps you level up financially. For others of you, I feel like you're on the brink of like starting a business or a side hustle that's going to really increase your finances. Okay, that was a whole hell of a lot of cards. And the thinking woman, I don't know what that's about. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, so yeah, there for some of you, you are on the brink of doing something that's going to go global. For some of you, it's going to be entering into a connection with somebody, and then you're both going to go global together. So maybe this is like a business partner. Some of you, it's like a romantic partner that you're also going to work with and go global. For others of you, I do feel like you're on the brink of starting like a really a very heart-centered business of some sort. For some of you, it might be a side hustle that ends up being your full time, and it's going to be like life changing in a very positive way. We do have the crown chakra and indecision. So I do feel like you're kind of in that, like, you're on the precipice of it, but you're not actually doing it yet. But you are getting divine guidance that it is time to do this. So yeah, yeah, for some of you, you could be overthinking this with the thinking woman card over here. Um, and kind of staying stuck up in your head. We do have co-create out here. So one, you're co-creating with the divine. Two, some of you are being called to work with somebody and co-create something magnificent together. And you're gonna feel so blessed once you allow yourself to take this leap and do this thing. Yeah, this is being led by the divine. This is divinely led. You could still be kind of worried that it's too good to be true, um, and that it's a temptation, but it's not. It's not. And yeah, you could feel like you're between worlds right now. Um, and I feel like it's because you're on the precipice. Like if we look at this imagery here, it's like the precipice is this middle part of this card, and you're on the brink of shifting over here, but there's been interference that's stopping you from doing it. And then, yeah, for some of you, you are feeling very alone right now, very misunderstood. Just know this is something once you allow yourself to take this step and do this thing that's going to be very life changing, you're not going to feel like this anymore. You're going to find your people. Or your people are going to find you. Hey, all right. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, I do feel like you're still dealing with a lot of the internal, like mental back and forth. Kind of just doing that, like it's too good to be true, so on and so forth. Because I'm getting this as like internal deceit. Yeah. And anxiety. So, and this is really kind of confirming that, the nervous system resetting and also kind of retraining yourself on what what you're focused on, what you're attaching to. If you're focusing on all of the lack and the fear thoughts, you're just going to experience more of that. If you start allowing yourself to release those and focus on better feeling thoughts, you're going to start experiencing in your external world things that reflect that back to you. Um, yeah, yeah. My heart goes out to you for this. You're on the precipice of greatness, is what just came through. So allow yourself to keep going, allow yourself to pull out of this anxiety. Know that you are on the brink of this new life, and this new life is really, it's beautiful. It's in alignment. It's like filled with purpose and passion and peace. And I do feel like there is a focus on peace as well. And so just know that that is here for you. You have a new life full of peace that you're on the brink of. So allow yourself to fully take that leap and do the thing you're being called to do that you know is going to be completely life changing in a very positive way. And do your best to ignore all of those naysaying thoughts that are telling you not to do it right now, because that's just the fear and the anxiety coming up to try and stop you from doing this. And just know that you will be victorious with this new beginning. The divine is all over this and helping you and assisting you. But it's one of those things the divine can't do it for you. So you're being assisted, you've got all the guidance, this is huge. Whatever this is for you, this is huge. And so just know you're being supported every step of the way by the divine, by your guides, by whatever it is that you work with, and you're on the brink of it. So keep going. It's not a sign to stop, it's a sign to keep going, is really what's coming through. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I hope this helps. Wishing you all the best. You've got this. Go ahead and do that thing. Do the thing that you're being called to do. And it's going to pay off beautifully is what I'm hearing. So, yeah. Alrighty. Well, feel free to hit that like button. It does help out the channel, so thank you. If you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free. And definitely let me know in the comments below if this is resonating. I would love to hear from you about it. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.